Hi, Ginger.
Hello.
Aloha, can we get Council Member Wilbur and Council Member Allen to turn on your video, please?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for, is it considered re-adjourning? I mean, not re-adjourning, but opening up again. Continuance. Thank you for joining us for this continuance. Okay. I think the only part of the agenda that we didn't get to that we wanted to meet on was to review some language for a report that then we would vote on. And so I took a shot. I wasn't able to see the video from Friday to make sure that it was accurately presented. So I'm going to share with you the report language, and you, the commission, not the commission, the council members can decide whether or not you want to make any edits to it if it's accurately depicted in this this draft. I don't think, do I just read it for any of the staff here? If do I just read it to the council members for review, or can I share it on the screen as well? Shall I try to share it?
Carolyn, this is Lori. Sorry to jump in, Chair Finnegan. This is Lori.
No, thank you, Lori.
Staff, is it possible for the chair to share her screen? Can she be given that capability?
Kimberly, is that? Can we do that?
Alternatively, can she post it in the chat?
Oh, okay, it looks like I can. So I'm just going to pull up the draft that I have. And then we can take a look at it on the screen. And if you want me to read it out loud, I can do that as well. Hold on a second, really quick. Okay. Okay, I'll just read along with you guys for the, we still have, yeah, we have Jen. Okay, I'm just gonna read along. The Oahu Advisory Council met on Friday, January 14th, 2022 via Zoom. The meeting was called to order by Commissioner Kennedy. Members Takemoto, Wilbur, Toma, and Finnegan were present. Member Finnegan was selected as chair. Both written and verbal testimony was offered that encouraged additional revisions to the modified proposed final congressional and legislative plans based on the 1622 permanent resident-based development developed by the Reapportionment Commission's Technical Committee. No testimony received supported the Technical Committee's maps in full. The testimony received revolved around the criteria for redistricting as stated in the state constitution, Article 4, Section 6, and that the aforementioned maps should do more to follow the criteria by aligning the Senate districts to the changes made to the House districts. A set of maps was offered by Bill Hicks in his testimony. The reapportionment criteria, and I just basically cut and pasted it for reference. In effect, such redistricting, the commission shall be guided by the following criteria, and listed that out. The council members and testifiers had a chance to ask questions of staff and Commissioner Nonaka of the Technical Committee during the review and discussion agenda items. The majority of the council members decided to not make a recommendation in this report and deferred to the work that was done by the Technical Committee. A consideration to refrain from making any recommendations was also due to the time constraints of the upcoming 2022 elections. So let's open it up to discussion for the council members. Any thoughts, council members? In agreement, not in agreement? You want to make any edits?
I guess my only question would be, I know we're not making any specific recommendations, but do we want to list, like, if they had time, what we would want them to look at?
We can. It sounded like, even though we were talking about it, it was deferring to the technical committee, but if you'd like to make suggestions or anything like that, we can totally amend it.
I was just thinking, I know that we're in a time crunch this year, but in 10 years from now, when they go to look at it, I'm hoping that they will fix the things that we weren't able to fix, I guess, given our time constraints.
Where would you like to, did you want to say that then in the report? I'm not sure. We didn't have a recommendation, and I don't remember us talking specifically about what, oh, no, what, I take that back. You did have let's potentially take a look at the Papakolea area, but I don't remember anything else. The rest was in discussion over the maps, but it wasn't
Right.
in discussion of the recommendation. So would you like to add that to this last paragraph?
I mean, I guess so. I just want to make sure that, because I know that that was referenced in a few testimonies. I just want to make sure that we are just, I guess, including that and making that.
We could include it into the language here, where we
Sure.
talk about the, and then if
The
you want-
testimonies.
yeah, if you want to, we can also add it to the bottom. So let's do that first. The testimony received, okay. And then we can say, maybe right here, we can say testimony received also receives specifically requested specifically mentioned was it the splitting of Papakolea?
Yeah, they're splitting it in two. Yeah.
Of Papakolea into two separate districts. And does the committee members, do the committee members want to add anything in its last paragraph here?
Chair, I have my hand raised if I could ask a question when you have a minute.
Sure. We're gonna, just a second, Commissioner Kennedy, let's get the let's get the council's idea on what they want to see the report say, and then we'll recognize you after that.
Okay, my question pertains to that, and I think we need to hear from our counsel, legal counsel. So I would appreciate if you'd let me speak prior to you finishing this.
Okay, can I just finish the discussion with Council Member Wilbur first?
Sure.
Thank you. And you got cut off, so I didn't hear exactly what you said at the end, but I'll come back to you.
Okay.
Okay, Council Member Wilbur. Was that enough, or would you like to see it in that last paragraph?
Can you scroll up really quick to where you inserted it? Sorry. So testimony specifically mentioned the opposition of splitting Papakule into two separate districts, I think, and then that would be good.
The opposition of, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so here's the situation. This is the report based upon the meeting that was happening, that happened, and what we concluded on Friday. What I'd like to do at this point in time is any additional testimony. I think the council as a whole maybe should decide on whether we're going to take more testimony. And
Chair?
Yes, go ahead, Alan.
Sorry, are we still editing this? I wanted to.
Correct. And I do know, can we address whether or not we're going to take additional testimony at this point in time? And then I'd like to also ask staff if they can help give us guidance, because what I'm trying to do here is be fair in trying to follow the agenda and finishing up this meeting and coming up with a report, as well as respecting, Chair Kennedy as being a part of the reapportionment committee. So if staff could give me any leeway that we have to decide in that manner would be helpful.
Okay, so I'm basically the liaison to your committee for the commission. So can you guys hear me?
Yeah, are you a member?
It's my job. Yes, I'm your liaison to the commission. So I'm supposed to be your voice to the commission. So during commission meetings, you guys are welcome to present your report, or I'm your liaison. So I'm helping your committee. So basically I'm in charge of your committee to bring the information. Pardon me?
I didn't know that you were in charge of our committee. So that's fine. I will recognize you then, and then I'm going to come back to Alan. Go ahead.
Okay, so my point is, and Lori, I'm going to need your help, who's our court counsel, our elections counsel. My understanding of what this committee's responsibility is to bring forward the voice of the community. So all of the testimony and all of the information that has been presented to you guys should be accumulated into a report that summarizes the entire community, the island of Oahu's voice. So I'm not sure that you understand that, only because you're trying to formulate a voice from the committee, but in reality, and Lori, please correct me if I'm wrong, what this committee gives the community the opportunity to do is share again their testimony in a more intimate setting where we can communicate with them, answer their questions, where it doesn't really happen during the commission meetings. So this is way more of an interactive, take all of the testimony that you can from the community, formulate it into a report, and then share it. So not having the four of you decide on an opinion based on what you've received. You're supposed to put forth what you've received. That's my understanding. So this formula, this accumulation report that you're doing should have all of the testimony and information from all of the testifiers. So Lori, can you help me clarify that for Lynn?
Commissioner Kennedy, I don't believe there are any parameters requiring the various advisory councils to approach it only in that particular manner. Other councils have, like this council, taken public testimony and then discussed and drafted their own specific report, including their own recommendations.
So, but they also included the testimony from the community.
That's their choice to do so if they want to include it in the report, yes.
Okay.
So because I went back to look at and to try to find the report that we did in the previous committee. And I couldn't find that on the website. So I wanted to see, did we do that in the last report, that we had all of the testimony in that report? Because I remember that report not being that long.
Oh my gosh, the one that Mike Rumpel did before he resigned was very long.
I don't. I
Diane Ono has her hand raised too, and she's on the technical committee.
Okay, just a second. I have a question for the staff, if you will, Commissioner. Could you pull up because I thought that the long comprehensive testimony was actually Chair Rumpel's presentation. Can someone from the staff help me understand that?
Carolyn, are you able to show on the screen what the final report submitted by Mr. Rumpel was?
Sorry, Laurie, could you repeat that?
Yes, so didn't Mr. Rumpel send you the signed report?
Yes, he did. The one-page report.
Was it only one page?
Well, there were attachments to that one page.
Okay,
Oh.
are you able to show it, share your screen to show it?
Well, let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm looking for it too. I can't.
I don't have to the council members, I don't have, and we have a couple, I think one other commissioner on which I didn't realize. So for the council members, I don't have opposition to attachments of all of the submitted testimony. So I think we can attach the submitted testimony as well. Okay, Alan, did we take care of your question, or, okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to make another suggested edit. The last sentence on the first, if you scroll up, the last sentence, I feel that because there is many people or several people testifying, for us to call out one testifier or one map, can we just delete that last sentence?
Yeah, I thought the reason why that I had I added that was because it was the only that I recall that had like a full set of maps, and that people were referring to those maps in their testimony, verbal as well as written. So that's the reason why I had offered that, is just so that if someone's looking at it as a report from us, and they wanted to see, of a comprehensive offering that was different from the commission, that would be a good thing to add.
Well, if we're gonna attach the testimonies, I think his testimony is pretty much stated in there. So that's why I just felt that for us to call out one person's testimony, I feel that it's kind of not giving the benefit for the entire
Yeah,
testifier's credence is what my point is. So that's just my suggestion, just deleting the last sentence. I think
how about if we don't, because it does refer to his maps in particular, by multiple testifiers. If we just said another set of maps was offered, if that's what you're thinking.
you mean generically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I can't really see like all of the folks on the call, but I'd like to at least go to the commissioners for additional comments out of respect. But keep in mind that this is a meeting that has pretty much concluded regarding the getting testimony. But I will go ahead and at least, go to the commissioners and do I have that kind of judgment call, Lori?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, let's have, I think it was a commissioner that identified herself somewhere.
It's Diane Ono.
Okay, Diane Ono. Okay, Diane Ono, if you could go ahead and comment.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I just wanted to say that my understanding is very similar to Laurie's, that you of course, listen to all of the testimony, but you as commissioners for the island of Oahu, are to talk about or look at the maps and decide for yourselves, what you think of them and advise accordingly. For instance, on Maui, the advisory council there talked specifically about certain areas with regard to access, with regard to splitting of certain communities. In that case, it was the Waikapu community. And some of these things are not readily apparent or obvious to the technical committee. So we do appreciate that kind of advice from the advisory councils. And I see you as a body unto yourselves, not, and Commissioner Kennedy is the liaison, but not in any way to tell you folks what you can do or can't do, how you should weigh the testimony that's been presented. So I just wanted to kind of echo what Laurie said, taking everything into consideration. It's you folks who need to give us your input. And I thought it was particularly odd the last time for Mr. Rompel to have presented a report in opposition, but then by the time the report was presented at the commission, he had quit, So, I mean, I take that with a grain of salt, if you're gonna oppose something, I mean, stick with it till the process is through. I guess that's just my sense about, these kinds of service that we do for the government and for the people. So that's just my 2 cents. Thanks for letting me talk.
Thank you, Commissioner Ono. When we're talking about summarizing, there was a purposeful effort to say that no testimony received supported the technical committee's maps in full. Okay, so that was the effort to basically say that with all the testimony that came in, go ahead and for those, this is a synopsis, this is a summary, go and take a look at what they're saying. And there are specifics. And I thought the main thing that people were talking about the alignment of the Senate and the House maps, which would include the way that it's worded. It would include the anchor point of Makapu'u. So that's why that summary is written that way. And then also putting in the reapportionment criteria, the language to meet the Constitution is interesting because it does say, in effect, such redistricting, the commission shall be guided. And when we used to do legislator work, the shall be guided is such loose language, and even where practicable. So I understand why the council members of this committee is basically deferring to the technical committee, although I would have personally wanted to see more alignment. Deferring to the technical committee says that for a group of people who are looking more detailed into how those lines are split to try and meet these criteria, that it would be that they're basically deferring to that more careful eye, is what I heard from the meeting last Friday. And I apologize, but I don't know that the intent of the continuation was not necessarily to take more testimony. It was really about agreeing upon a report that reflected the testimony that took place that day. So I understand all the hard work, and I see that that Bill Hicks is raising his hand to testify. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to conclude this report based upon what the council members remember from last Friday. And although I'd like to take additional testimony, I'm going to make the judgment call not to, because I think that would end up taking, to be fair, would be opening it up to taking more testimony on what was already talked about last Friday, and the intent of having that meeting on last Friday. So for Alan and Jennifer and is it Gail? Sorry, I'm getting used to names. Ginger. Can you guys still see that? And do you want to make any other amendments to this report?
I'm fine with this.
No changes on my end.
I'm okay.
Okay. So why don't we, can I take a motion? Does anyone want to offer a motion? To adopt the report?
I'll make for motion to finalize this report.
Okay, and do we have a second?
I'll second.
Was that Alan?
Yes.
Thank you, Alan. Okay, the motion has been made and seconded. Do we have any more discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there okay, sorry. I'm trying to toggle between seeing everyone. Okay, so I think I heard one more time. All in favor say aye.
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 Okay, the motion has been passed. Okay. Yes, Lori.
Sorry, due to, and I think your struggle is my struggle as well. Would you mind just doing a quick roll call vote?
Sure can.
Okay.
Okay, let's redo that vote and do a roll call vote, sorry, and I'm just gonna call it by name. So Alan?
Aye.
Ginger?
Aye.
And Jen?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Lori, does that suffice?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and that concludes the meeting for today. And if there's any other, is there anything else that you would like to bring up, council members? And if not, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I know this is a difficult situation, and I want to thank you for all your participation. Okay, I think we're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, aloha.